Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today we're going to get into the top five free agent defensive tackles and edge rushers. Um, I can really kind of see the Steelers being in the market, definitely for defensive tackle. Actually, um, they're going to draft that position fairly high, and I really believe the Steelers probably going to go the draft route as far as the defensive tackle filling that position because it's a very deep class at the defensive tackle position. So I really see the Steelers probably going more in the draft for this position than really free agents. But it's a couple free agents that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. That for the right amount of money, I could see the Steelers maybe trying to do some business with one of those guys and try to get them in. So with that said, let's kind of go to the list and see what's available. So right now, Milton Williams is probably the first guy. Um, Again, when you kind of look at this list, um, not really guys that I really believe that could really help the Steelers what they need because the Steelers really need a big body to take up tackles and to free up those linebackers and stop letting those guards and stuff get to them linebackers because that was like one of the things with Patrick Queen. A lot of people think he really didn't have a good year, but part of it is we didn't. The Steelers really didn't have that nose tackle to keep him clean. So I don't know really how many of these guys on this list that they would really try to look at. The last three guys kind of piqued my interest. I would love to bring Javon Hargrave back, especially just for depth. For the depth, really can't feel that nose tackle position per se, but can definitely give you more than what Louder Milk and all those type guys would get. Giving you. He would be a great guy to have, in that rotation with Bennett and Cam Hayward. Javon Kinlaw, pretty much the same thing. For the right amount of money, I could definitely see bringing him in. Same thing with DJ Jones. Bringing him in to add some depth and get a good rotation going. So, like I say, I really don't see the Steelers being too active in the defensive tackle free agent pool, but definitely this is going to be either a first round pick or their second round pick. They're definitely going to draft this position fairly high. So like I said, we'll see how it goes. But even in my mock draft, I think I had them filling this position maybe in the third round. But I actually think the Steelers probably going to go first round, second round for sure, because it's some big guys out there that they need to really make that defensive line stout. And like I say, you give your linebackers an opportunity to play clean and keep those guards and stuff and the other offensive linemen off of those guys and let Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, let those guys do what they do, and that's run sideline to sideline, and not really taking on a lot of blocks. All right, so with that said, let's kind of go to the defensive edge rushers. Again, Josh Sweat not going to be in the plans for the Steelers. He's going to be asking for a nice penny. So I don't see them trying to do anything with Sweat. Khalil Mack, again, at this point in his career, he's going to be a little expensive. I don't know, for the money. I mean, obviously you would love to bring him in, but I think he's gonna go somewhere and try to get a starting position. Same thing with Lawrence. I think Lawrence probably can go somewhere and get a starting position. So those guys, they're the first three guys. I really don't see the Steelers giving those guys any interest because for one thing, they're still gonna collect a nice little paycheck, especially I think Sweat and Lawrence. And right now the Steelers really don't need that per se. They just need some depth guys. But as you can see, I put the Steelers signed by Chase Young. I think if he doesn't get the deal that he's probably looking for, I could definitely see the Steelers maybe going after him and bringing him in as a depth piece to play behind Hayward and Highsmith. That would be a perfect backup for those guys. And like you say, those guys take a lot of plays, especially Watt. I mean, Watt is going to pull himself out a lot of times because he goes so hard that to get some, to get a breather. So Chase Young will get a nice amount of reps, but I I think he'll be a good guy to bring in to back those guys up. So I don't have a problem with going after Young or Fowler. I think Fowler is probably kind of going to fit in that same position. I mean, I'm quite sure Fowler probably going to look for a starting position, but it might not happen for him. So he might have to come back around and just draft, sign with a team as a backup. But again, you can't go wrong with bringing those type guys in to just give you some depth and not give you a major drop off if something was to happen to Watt or Highsmith. So I mean, overall, when you look at these two classes, the edges and the defensive tackles, not a great class. I mean, it's not really a guy that I would say, hey man, you got to really go out and try to get one of those guys. It's just I, I would say it's probably average. The talent in both right now for this year is pretty average, but it is some guys that could definitely work for the Steelers to give them some depth because you always need depth and to get some of those guys like I say a Chase Young, I would love to see him in the black and gold, being the backup behind Watt or Highsmith. So with that said, that is pretty much it for this episode. Tomorrow, I want to say we're going linebackers. So we're gonna do the inside linebackers, which the Steelers may kind of be in that market. Just for like I said, another depth guy. Um, Me personally, I see them probably bringing back uh bringing back I don't know. I we have to see what they're gonna do, but probably they're probably gonna bring back Roberts more than likely. But we'll take a look at it and see if there's anything they could do there. But that's pretty much it as far as these two positions. Um like I say, I think the defensive tackle position. I really think the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to use a high draft pick, and they're going to try to fix that position in the draft because those defensive tackles, especially a good quality one, they can get kind of expensive. So I think the Steelers will go the draft route with that. And like I say, when you look at that list, there's really nobody that really truly sticks out. That okay, we can go after this person, but that's really about it. So until then, I will talk to you next time. Take care and see you tomorrow.